a writer, an author, businesswoman, journalist, annual Women's Conference organizer. But I think she wants to be stuck on journalist because she told me that she is a journalist and she loves doing the job. So let's welcome Raina Cho.
I am totally humble after Clara Reyes. And the thing is going to happen now is I'm not competing with any one of you. But definitely, I am going to give my part and really hope in the end that especially the young women here will be able to ask themselves if they are really liberated. I want to thank freedom fighters for inviting me. It's an honor, especially because as the organizer of the annual Women Conference in Curacao, we had this year our 10th conference. These topics keep coming up. We keep repeating ourselves. It seems as if we had a good conference last year, everybody was fired up, and next year we have to start again. So it's not like we have a continuation of the good things that are happening for us. So bear with me for these minutes. Tonight, at this moment in Curacao, already passed, today is August 17th, and we had the commemoration of the revolt in 1795. So I know that a lot of people went to the statue of Tula at Rib, where they would have been talking, dancing, music, the good things, the feel-good things, but also the painful things, the feelings. And one of the things is that many times we hear about Tula, Mercier, Pashankarpata, but we don't hear about Saplika, the woman, actually the only woman that we can find that seems to have been there when everything was happening. And I wonder many times about Saplika, who she was, how she felt being a slave, how her being a woman made a difference or not when she was enslaved. So many questions regarding one woman who definitely made the difference. My assumptions is that she, as a black woman, had to handle challenges just like nowadays. And it doesn't matter what color you are as a woman, we have challenges. And Saplika must have thought of being free, liberated. And knowing, because I'm a very fervent reader, and we have a reading circle every promoting reading, knowing that so many things that happen to women are not known by other women, permit me to take you through one woman experience that impressed me profoundly and still makes me wonder, without generalizing, how come especially the younger generation of black women does not prove what we know and is not living the conscious liberty they should be experiencing. Who were their role models? I want to share with you the story of Sarah Bagma. She was 20 years old when in 1810 she left South Africa, invited by a medical doctor to come to the United Kingdom and have a better life there and work And the moment she arrived in the UK, just like a lot of women are experiencing nowadays with the human trafficking, she was put to work. She was forced to show herself as a unique, non-human piece of thing to the community. I would like to make it easier for all of you. We're going to watch a YouTube. I copied it from YouTube, so you can have a better idea of what I'm talking about.
Her name was Sarah Bartman, daughter of South Africa. She went to Europe willingly, thinking she would find riches and fame. They fooled her. In Europe, she found humiliation, forced to be a spectacle because many of them had never seen a naked black woman's body. They nicknamed her Hottentot Venus. They were fascinated by her large, full breasts, big hips, buttocks, and big lips. They stared, touched, and laughed. She couldn't really be human because she didn't look like a white woman. Her skin was the deepest shade of the darkest chocolate. Her hair was a thick black cloud on her head. Doctors and medical students scribbled madly in their medical journals descriptions of her body. She was later sold to a circus where she danced naked for the entertainment of white people. In their mind, her large breasts, buttocks, and her elongated labia made her inferior and oversexed. This justified their inhumane treatment of the black man and the black woman. No longer wanted in the circus, she became a prostitute and later died from loneliness, shame, and disease. She had been in Europe for only 5 years and was only 25 when she died. But her story doesn't end there. Even in death, she wasn't allowed dignity. Europeans were fascinated and obsessed with Sarah Bartman. When she died, they cut out her vagina, her brain, her skeleton, preserved them in jars, and placed them all on display along with a plaster of her actual body. For 160 years, people could walk into a museum, look at Sarah Bartman's vagina, her brain, her skeleton, and see what she looked like naked. In 1974, they took down the display, but they still kept her remains. It wasn't until 2002 that her remains were returned to her homeland and given a long overdue proper burial. Some would say Hottentot Venus, aka Sarah Bartman, was one of the first video vixens. Before television, before radio, Sarah Bartman became the blueprint for degrading and humiliating the black woman on a worldwide level. Sarah, this one's for you. I will not forget you. I will not allow others to forget you. I will make sure our people remember you and know your name. Black America, I find you guilty of murder. You're slowly killing the black woman with your blatant disrespect for black womanhood. We have pimped our daughters and mothers for platinum record sales, new cars with big rims and mansions, while Eve's daughters drop it like it's hot for crumpled dollar bills and the chance to be nominated the year's best video vixen. We spit on Sarah Bartman's memory, and Harriet is turning over in her grave while Sojourner stands at the throne of the Almighty, praying, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." Do you? Do you understand what you have done, what you are doing? How many black women came before you and played the maid and prostitute so you wouldn't have to? How many of us have turned down roles because we valued how the world viewed black women? But not today's daughters. For a few dollars, they feed into America's jungle bunny fantasy, shaking their fangs half naked with a smile upon their faces, but their eyes say, save me from myself, and where is black America? We are on the sidelines cheering because baby girl is no longer a resident of the ghetto. She's riding in Bentleys or Benzes draped in furs and diamonds, and the record label just bought her a fat house. But have we forgotten? Massa always kept his main hoe close to the big house or a house to call her own, as long as she opened the door when he came knocking. And he will be coming back. It's so sad. Back then we were forced to degrade ourselves to the level of being some man's whore. Today we willingly degrade ourselves. The black woman has become America's #1 whore. We fought that label for so many years, but here our daughters came along and solidified the deal. But many of us sold our daughters to them. We sold them for houses with jacuzzi-sized bathtubs and the chance to say, "That's my baby on TV." Have we no shame? No guilt? We can't blame the white man for this one. In concert stadiums all over the world, our black men proclaim to the world that his women are bitches and hoes. It's so common, some of us think that this is our name and answer to it. We have forgotten our grandmother's pain, her struggle to carry the burden so we wouldn't have to. Do you hear the ancestors crying out, is this what we died for? I say no. Wake up, black woman. Wake up, black America. Take back your dignity. The power is in your hands.
Do you recognize Sarah Baartman in 2013? But this time it's her choice. And the thing is that a lot of women, black women, we were raised. So when I just asked who are our role models, a lot of us were raised with the knowledge that something was wrong with our body because our behind is too big. When we watch movies, we see what a small group of people sitting in a room made as the right image for the female person and the black woman too. Since we cannot comply with that image, not because we don't want to, but because nature is telling us something else. A lot of black women, they don't touch us anymore because we are something non-human and different. But still, the silent messages, the non-verbal communication tells us the same way that Sarah Baartman was told that we are wrong. And one important thing is that, I don't know if it really came good forward here, Sarah Baartman was at a certain moment sold to an animal trainer in France, who was the one handling her because she could not be human the way her behind was, and her vagina, and her breast, and her lips. So, with this knowledge, I really want to know from you, combined with how we are today, how liberated are you? Anyone here dares to tell me, totally free? I see one hand, Emil. I see a man. I'm jealous of you. Some black women made the process to really be liberated by being independent in every possible way. We are talking about exceptions here and not standards. And I'm not talking only about St. Martin, but the whole Caribbean region. Women all over the world in any shade of black, white, or yellow are still struggling to get the respect based on especially the efforts made by the United Nations. We are liberated if we want to believe it, if we want to accept it, and if we want to live it. There is still a long way to go all over the world for the acceptance of women, first by women, and then by their sons and other men. Because the problem is not out there, it's in here, in me. How are we as women dealing with each other? How are we as women supporting each other? How are we as women accepting ourselves to be able to be a role model for especially a young girl? If we cannot really live the liberation, there is no being free. And because too much is about saying it and not doing it. I want to share with you the song, because there are some things in my life that really impressed me and that really made a difference in my whole being, how I carry myself as a female human being. One of them was the day I learned in school that there was slavery. I think I must have been 9 or 10 years old. And I had never heard about it because
I was born free, and I was treated free, and I was programmed free, so, and then suddenly there was something like slavery, and the teacher had told as if nothing strange has had happened. So I didn't have the courage to ask the questions in school, so I went home and asked them with my mother. I still remember my mother standing at the sink. I think 2 or 3 of my brothers were standing with her. And I had so many questions about slavery, and she was really answering. She was really answering me, and the more she told me and about her grandparents and what they had told, I was like, this is not true. This can't be true. So that's one emotion I still have till today. The second one I got when I learned about Sarah Bartman, because that was really, really something that blew me off. And the one that really did something to me is the one we're going to see now. Is the song of John Lennon, "Woman is the nigger of the world," in the world. This song is written by Yoko Ono and John Lennon. Beautiful music. I'm going to read the words for you if you could not really understand. Woman is the nigger of the world. Yes, she is. Think about it. Woman is the nigger of the world. Think about it. Do something about it. We make her paint her face and dance. If she won't be a slave, we say that she don't love us. If she's real, we say she's trying to be a man. While putting her down, we pretend that she's above us. Woman is the nigger of the world. Yes, she is. If you don't believe me, take a look at the one you're with. Woman is the slave of the slaves. Ah, yeah. Better scream about it. We make her bear and raise our children, and then we leave her flat for being a fat old mother hen. We tell her home is the only place she should be. Then we complain that she's too unworthy to be our friend. Woman is the nigger of the world. Yes, she is. If you don't believe me, take a look at the one you're with. Woman is a slave to the slaves. We insult her every day on TV and wonder why she has no guts or confidence. When she's young, we kill her will to be free. While telling her not to be too smart, we put her down for being so dumb. Woman is the nigger of the world. Yes, she is. If you don't believe me, take a look at the one you're with. Woman is the slave to the slaves. Yes, she is. If you believe me, you better scream about it. We make her paint her face and dance. We make her paint her face and dance. We make her paint her face and dance. Once again, the music is fantastic. It's John Lennon. And the words hurt. Excuse me? I am finalizing my presentation. I really want you all to go because we're living in the good time that we can go on Facebook, go on the internet, and really look for things if we want to define who we are and how we can make a difference. Making a difference, like we know about Sarah Bartman, making a difference, not teasing or making jokes about another woman's body. That's one way of making a difference. Another way of making a difference is understanding that in the racial politics, women are doubled discriminated for being black and for being a woman. As a conclusion, I have the liberated woman in the Caribbean in the century has this knowledge. She knows this because we all know everything already. Her body is not a threat to her, but her power tool to be used respectfully to gain and maintain respect for those around, from those around her. Second, she herself is a power tool to achieve the best of the best in her life, for her to be the best she can be for herself, for those she loves, and for the community. 3, she reads and is educated because education is the only real liberation tool. 4, she does not let impossible images show her how she has to be. The package she came in is okay and will continue to be okay in a perfect world. 5, she aims to be self-supporting and avoids anything that will make her dependent. And she's also professionally disciplined because she wants to be. 6, she builds her life from young based on reality, opportunities, self-respect, and what she knows from her history. Before we can really say that we are liberated or not, we need to look inside of us. We know the words and we know the feelings. We live the words and we live the feelings. So many times we know that the words don't understand the feelings. We know something more or something else must happen. Because the feelings don't understand the words, I quote, how am I going to stand up for my rights, emancipate myself from mental slavery? None but ourselves can free our minds, as Bob Marley said, unquote. Are these words carrying my feelings? Actually, me personally, I am still working in this lifetime to understand what it means to be liberated. And I would like you to share with me how liberated you are. Thank you for your attention.